Forget about wrinkles for a moment. The factor that accelerates your aging the most isn't time, it's not the months or the years, it's resentment, anxiety, and guilt. And today, I will provide you with the specific, scientifically backed psychological tool that will effectively help you put a definitive end to the internal destructive war that ultimately accelerates the process of aging within your body and mind. And it's not magic at all. It's simply a profound biological antidote that effectively turns your internal dialogue and your deeply held values into the most incredibly powerful pharmacy that truly exists for you within you. The significant research that ultimately won the Nobel Prize for studying telomeres, which are in essence the protective caps of each and every cell, showed that the most severe wear and tear on your precious DNA comes from a single powerful place, your own mind. Your body simply doesn't know how to distinguish between a real danger, an accident, an attack, and an imagined danger that repeats itself. That's precisely why, when you have a persistent worry that comes back again and again and never truly rests, or when you consciously hold on to and carry a deep-seated grudge for many years, biologically speaking, that is a constant and enduring threat. And what does your body do when it perceives this without you even realizing it? It responds by activating its ancestral defense system, chronic inflammation. Inflammation is a chronic, slow-burning fire that literally and continuously burns your vital protective caps on your chromosomes. It's as if you were at war with yourself, and you, yourself, are speeding up, or you start to speed up. Your cellular clock from the inside. But just as I tell you this, there's an important piece of information we shouldn't lose sight of. In fact, this is a central part of the message in this video. If your mind can ignite this fire, it also holds the exact extinguisher to put it out. Today, you're going to learn how to tell your body with a single phrase that the war is over. The answer that connects your mind and your cells comes from a fascinating field of research, the biology of values. This concept was proposed by biologist Daniel Lumera and Harvard University researcher Immaculada de Vivo. In their thesis, they put forward a radical idea. They say that values like gratitude, kindness, and forgiveness are not abstract concepts. They are signals your mind sends directly to your biology. And pay attention to causality, to the focus. When you choose to forgive or to be grateful, your brain isn't acting from a moral standpoint when it forgives. It's feeling and acting from a standpoint of safety. Forgiving and being grateful are human values that your body doesn't interpret as a clear command. It simply interprets them as, we are no longer in danger. The external threat is over. And what is the result of that signal of safety? A change that is completely physiological and will also surprise you. Forgiveness stops the repetition of the traumatic memory. It makes your body stop releasing cortisol and inflammatory cytokines. Both are intrinsically linked directly to that significant past event in history. Kindness and optimism are directly correlated with the reduction of oxidative stress. They create an internal environment that protects and lengthens your telomeres, and calmness activates the parasympathetic branch of your nervous system. It effectively allows your entire body to switch from a defense mode to a much-needed repair mode. These values are literally physiological antidotes against the fire of inflammation. They are genuine internal medicines that stop your cellular wear and tear. And this brings us to the key question. Why don't we live in those states more often? And it's easy, it's simple to say and simple to understand. You can know about forgiveness and yet still not forgive. You can know that forgiveness is good, but that doesn't mean you can forgive. You can admire kindness and yet speak to yourself or your partner with great harshness. You may wish to be a grateful person and yet find yourself constantly trapped in complaining. Values do not activate themselves. They need a spark. They need the motivation for you to choose to embrace them. And above all, they need you to have or use a tool to turn them from something ideal into something practical, real. And here comes the most powerful secret of all. Our mind contains a hidden switch that is capable of controlling our physical reality. But be careful, its use comes with a warning. This switch does not distinguish between the positive and the negative. It simply follows orders. Professor Joseph Murphy, who was a pioneer in neuroscience, identified it as the subconscious. The tool to program that command center is with you right now. In fact, you use it every day. And it is the key that activates that internal pharmacy I mentioned that each of us has. And what is that tool? Very simple. Your inner dialogue, that constant, pervasive voice that accompanies you when you first wake up in the morning, when you prepare to go to bed at night, the one that silently comments with you on every single decision you want to make or are contemplating making, the one that meticulously interprets what is happening all around you, the one that consistently supports you, or the one that at times perhaps even undermines you, brings you down. That voice is the steering wheel of your nervous system. Psychological science has been studying it for decades. In fact, that inner voice is the foundation of cognitive behavioral therapy, which is the most validated treatment in the world for anxiety and depression. Its basis is very simple, but also profound. It's not the events themselves that hurt you. It's the story your mind tells about those events. If you tell yourself this is a disaster, your body goes on alert. But on the other hand, if you tell yourself, this is hard, but you know what? I can and I will take the next step, then your body enters a state of regulation. Your inner dialogue has immediate and direct access to your amygdala, and the amygdala is, in essence, simply put, the primal biological primary control center for feelings of alarm and fear. If you deeply hold on to these persistent feelings of guilt, bitter resentment, or overwhelming anxiety inside you. When you experience feelings of anxiety or significant distress, it is primarily the amygdala, a crucial part of your brain, that interprets those unsettling thoughts as a very real and immediate danger. This interpretation then powerfully triggers a cascading physiological response of stress hormones and cortisol throughout your entire body, which will ultimately cause chronic and persistent inflammation within you. In other words, your internal dialogue, the constant stream of thoughts and self-talk within your mind, is directly and profoundly related to your overall stress levels, your body's inflammatory responses, and as a significant consequence, the actual lifespan of your protective telomeres, which are vital for cellular health and longevity. However, when you choose a phrase that brings calm, you are sending a clear instruction to your biology. We are safe. And when your body believes it is safe, the inflammatory fire subsides, or even disappears, and repair is activated. Aging slows down. Your internal dialogue is the key that turns a value like forgiveness into a real biological action. If chronic stress is the fire and values are the antidote, Your internal dialogue is the key that turns a value into a real biological action. It is the one that writes, or can write, the prescription with the cure in that pharmacy I was telling you about. But so that this isn't just pure theory, let's spend a few minutes analyzing how it works in daily life. You'll see. In the end, the most important thing is that you understand how your mind, with every phrase you choose, can either ignite inflammation or put it out. It can speed up your aging or give your telomeres a break. It can put you at war or allow you to live in peace. This isn't about thinking positively. That would even be superficial. This is about getting you to reflect. What are you thinking? And why exactly are you thinking that, right? The very moment you become truly aware that every single story you tell yourself inevitably turns into tangible chemistry within your physical body, you will have taken the first profoundly important step toward genuine healing and indeed toward healthy, sustained longevity. That chemistry turns into either inflammation or calm. If it's calm, it becomes repair. And the reality that can be drawn from these studies is that your longevity does not begin in the body. In the physical exercise you diligently perform, the nourishing food choices you consciously make, or the essential rest and recovery you allow yourself to experience. Ultimately, it profoundly begins with the empowering narrative you consciously choose to embrace. With that thoroughly explained and clearly understood, now you are truly ready for the final and most crucial part of this entire video presentation. What exactly is your own personal, well-thought-out protocol for effectively putting out the metaphorical fire when it inevitably appears? There are moments in life when you find yourself cornered. It truly doesn't matter how many insightful books you may have diligently read, how much valuable advice you've been generously given, or even precisely how incredibly strong and resilient you genuinely think you are. When it truly and deeply hurts, everything ultimately comes down to one singular crucial thing you profoundly say to yourself in that very difficult moment. That powerful phrase, the one you choose when you're truly tired, deeply hurt, completely lost, that phrase possesses the profound ability to either ignite the burning fire or slowly extinguish it. What I'm about to suggest next is not a technique. And it's not a simple recipe either. It's something far more intimate, a deeply personal, carefully crafted, small emergency script specifically designed for those challenging moments when life inevitably gets harder and your mind fills with overwhelming noise. There are indeed 5 distinct phrases, 5 powerful anchors, 5 gentle reminders, if you will, but above all else, they are 5 profound opportunities to truly return to your authentic self, to be aware and to focus properly. And you don't have to use them all. Choose the ones you feel you need. Maybe it's just one, or maybe none at all, but you're understanding how it works. And if it's one, repeat it as if it were a hand on your back. The first is for when anxiety pushes you into the future. So your phrase should be, you see, I don't control the ending, I only control this next step. And this phrase should be like your home. It will bring you back to the only place where life truly happens, which is today. The present. You don't have to worry about the future. Your body recognizes that command as a command for calm. Let's calm down and the fire subsides. The second is the opposite, when the past comes back again and again, over and over. So in that case, your phrase should be, you know what? I choose to let it go. Today my body deserves a break. And you're not saying that what happened was okay. What you're saying is that you're no longer going to sacrifice your peace today for what happened yesterday. That ultimately is forgiveness in its most practical and mature form. It's deep self-care. The third is when guilt chases you. It's as if it were talking to you, and on top of that, doing so harshly or with undue severity. In that particular case, your truly impactful phrase should unequivocally be, "You know what, I genuinely made a significant mistake. Yes, but I'm absolutely not a mistake myself." That's a remarkably simple yet profoundly powerful phrase, but it's the fundamental principle that truly opens the door to an enormous and liberating freedom, because sustained, corrosive guilt relentlessly destroys people's very essence, and yet deep, insightful self-understanding profoundly builds them up and empowers them. And your biology understands that difference. The fourth is when you're exhausted and don't know how to keep going. So in that moment, your phrase should be, "This is hard. Yes, but you know what? Here I am and I deserve a break." Sometimes strength isn't about enduring, but about allowing yourself to rest. Your body doesn't heal in the struggle, your body heals when you give it a break. The fifth is when the critical voice wants to decide for you. In that case, your phrase should be, "You know what? I'm hearing you, but today I choose the voice that gives me strength." It's not about silencing your mind, but about educating it, about teaching it, little by little, which part of you is in control, and that choice is an act of inner authority. You see, these phrases I just shared with you are not mantras, they're directions, they're compasses, they're small decisions that, when repeated sincerely, will change your chemistry, your inflammation, your mood, and your ability to keep going. Science can explain it, but only you can make it real. The profound and essential building of your overall health truly commences right here, in the serene and quiet sanctuary of your own mind, in that precise and pivotal moment when you consciously and deliberately decide what empowering and transformative story you genuinely want to consistently tell yourself, shaping your future. Because your body listens to every word. Your DNA listens to every word. And so does your future. Today, choose the phrase that brings you peace. Choose the one that brings you back to the present, to today. And choose the one that reminds you that you can heal, that you have the ability to heal. And repeat it to yourself. Calmly, truthfully, with commitment. The building of your peaceful life begins with this small but profound act. I encourage you to keep moving forward, always forward.